Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
welcome back. The Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. We told you we'll be talking about, a prolific basketball player this morning, Nikola Jokic. Of course, he put up a very, very impressive performance this week for the Denver Nuggets side, as of course he scored a total of 41 points to take the Denver Nuggets to the top of their conference. But joining me to take a look at the life of Nikola Jokic this morning is Dr. Elechi. Good morning to you and welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Personality Show.
Good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, viewers.
All right, we also have Miracle Onyekazi. Miracle, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right, we're very happy, of course, to bring you all that you need to know about Nikola Jokic. And talking about Nikola Jokic, he's a Serbian basketball player. You can call him Nikola Jokic, or you call him the Joker. Of course, he plays as a center for the Denver Nuggets. He's arguably the best center in the league at the moment, and epitomizes the modern NBA center. His playing skills, along with his versatile scoring, have made him a monster on offense. Even if teams are to double team him, his court vision allows him to make passes to the open man for an easy bucket. He is the current holder of the MVP award and the first center to win the award since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. And talking about his early life, he was born on February 19, 1995 in Sombo, Serbia. He lived in a small apartment with his parents, grandmother, and two older brothers. His brothers introduced him to the game, and he fell in love with it. Jokic played youth basketball for Vojvodina. He received interest from bigger clubs, and during the summer of 2012 he signed for Mega Basket. He declared for the 2014 NBA draft after playing 2 seasons and was selected 41st overall. He played the 2014 and 2015 season in Serbia and won the ABA League's MVP as well. Dr. Elechi, let me start with you on this one. What do you make of the early life of Nikola Jokic?
Yeah, Nikola Jokic, his environment, I think, played a lot of influence on him. He grew up with his elder ones who were about 10 years older than him, the gap. And when you are growing up with people who are older than you, who are already into a certain activity, there's always that tendency of looking up to them. And I think that was what he did. He was looking up to his brothers growing up at Sombo. And he was always going out with them to see how he learned that which they have already known. And that played a role. And he keyed in very well. It is one thing looking up to someone. It is one thing sticking with that thing you are looking up to. The major problem we have most times with the younger ones growing up is that when they look up to something, they just look up to it, they like it, merely liking it, not sticking to it. But Nikola Jokic did not just look up to the brothers, he looked at the sports, he started following it from that tender age. And he had key interest. He was committed to it. I think that was what played that big role that he became so successful in the game. Because if he didn't do that, it would have been a problem for him.
All right, Barack, let me also get to you as well. What do you make of it? Serbia, we understand the fact that, when you talk about basketball in the world, Serbia is not, that big when it has to do with basketball. Of course, you talk about basketball, you mentioned the United States of America, you mentioned Canada, you also mentioned at least France and Australia. But, what do you make of it? Nikola Jokic coming from Serbia, and then this year's, coming from Serbia and doing, great things at the moment, in basketball in America.
Yeah, we've known Serbia for not so to be not so that's a big country when it comes to playing basketball. But over the course of the last 5 to 10 years, if I should say, Serbia have been known to produce one of the best basketballer like Nikola Jokic himself. Serbia has also produced an NBA All-Star player also. There's a player, Luka Doncic, that plays also at Dallas Mavericks. He's also a Serbian, and he's been doing quite very well for himself. Nikola Jokic, yes, he's done a lot for both himself and his country. He's even an Olympic an Olympic silver medalist. He won the Olympic silver medal at the 2016 Olympics over there. So yeah, he's actually proven himself worthy, and he's carried the weight of his country on his shoulders over the course of the years. So I feel like the Serbia Basketball Federation have been doing more to groom players who should be drafted instantly to the NBA or maybe later on in their career. That's where the likes of Serbia has been performing quite well over the course of the years.
All right, so impressive one, of course, for Serbia for putting up, talents out there, when it has to do with basketball. Just like you heard from Miracle, Nikola Jokic, of course, is a Serbian. Luka Doncic as well is one man who has been doing very well, when it has to do with basketball down there in the United States of America. But still talking about Nikola Jokic, in 2014 NBA draft, he was picked by the Denver Nuggets. He did not join them until the 2015 NBA Summer League. He signed with the team in July 2015 after playing 5 games with them in the Summer League. In early 2016, he recorded a career high of 9 assists in a game against the Charlotte Hornets. He would later spend some time as a bench player, but during that period, he made season high scoring. And in 2016, he recorded double-digit boards, double-doubles, and near triple-doubles as well. His first career triple-double was recorded in February 2017. Didn't actually look like a novice when he was drafted into the Denver Nuggets side. Doctor, what do you make of it? Do you expect someone who actually, gets into, for instance, maybe you were playing for, let's say, Future FC, probably should be in one of, let's say, one of the local leagues, let's say the NLO or probably the NNL, and you just got to see yourself, let's say, in the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
One thing you have to understand is this: he was coming from the Mega Basket, and from that Mega Basket, he played this ABBA League, and ABBA League is a league that comprises a zonal league that comprises of countries like Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, Montenegro, Northern Macedonia, Serbia, and the likes of countries within. Even we have UAE, Israel, country from Asia. So you see, within that time he was playing at the ABBA League, he has also gotten that exposure. And secondly, Nikola has always had YouTube where he watched what happens in the USA, the big basketball players. So even before arriving at the US, he already had that that feelings of someone having a destination. You already know this, sometime, someday I'm going to be in so place. And by the time these people came for him and they picked him without officially signing him, he was already prepared for the task ahead. So I think that was one thing that played a very big role on his career, and he found it very easy. It wasn't like something that is a new thing to him.
And Miracle, just like we just talked about now, and he didn't actually find it very difficult. He started very well, putting up some impressive figures, doubles, triple doubles, putting up some impressive record for himself, at the initial part of his career in the Denver Nuggets. What do you make of his mindsets?
Yes, Nikola Jokic is a very determined player. Yes, and he's shown that he's proven that he's very, very determined. He set his goals, and he's looking towards achieving that goal that he set for himself. So if you can see over the course of his career, the kind of awards and trophies he's won and also achieved, she should tell you that he's very, very determined. Even at the youth stages, he won the Under-19 World Championships over there at Czech Republic, which he participated on. And even when he won the Olympic silver medal for his country, he was still quite young also. he's been doing well, quite very well for himself over the course of the years as his club over there in the NBA. Even when his club were not doing quite well, he's been carrying his club on his shoulders. A lot of triple doubles for himself, a lot of game points, winning matches for himself over there, until last year, where he actually won the NBA championship for his franchise over there. He also won the MVP in the finals, which shows a lot as a player, making him the first center forward to win the MVP in the finals of the NBA. Since 2000. The last player that won that MVP was a legend in himself, Shaquille O'Neal. So he's proven himself worthy enough for him to be in the history books in the NBA.
Impressive one, of course, for the man Nikola Jokic. Did not really start, as a novice or like a novice in the Denver Nuggets. He also kept making doubles upon doubles consistently. Now, in this year, that's 2017, he scored a triple-double that helped the Nuggets win over the Los Angeles Clippers. The win made the Nuggets the first team in the NBA history to come back from multiple 3-1 deficit. Despite this, they went on to lose the Western Conference Final. But miracle, that was really an impressive, one from the man Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, although at the end of the road he was disappointed because they actually lost the Western Conference Final. Assuming they would have won that same year, they would have been able to qualify for the NBA Championship Finals, which they didn't. But yes, throughout that particular Western Conference Final, he showed himself, he carried his team. But unfortunately for him, he was not able to achieve his goal, which actually gave him that determination for him to be able to look forward to the next season and gather and rally his team around, which he also did. That same season, he performed a lot. The whole of the NBA, we were rooting for him actually to win that MVP, which he actually won, and he was actually a proven winner throughout that NBA championship finals.
Of course, he also became one of the players in the league history to have posted a 20-point triple double for himself. You see, very impressive one, of course, for the man Nikola Jokic. 20-point triple double digits board in the postseason. The other players to have done so are Tim Duncan, Kevin Kenneth, and this season also saw Jokic get the most game PPG points for his career with 26.4. He also kicked off the 2020 and 2021 season, scoring 4 triple doubles in just his first 6 games. Another impressive, of course, stats for the man Nikola Jokic. Now, in March 2021, he broke the record for the most double-double in Nuggets franchise, and the previous record was held by Dikembe Mutombo, and he would also be named the Western Conference player for the month, of course, for March. That was in 2020 and 2021 season. But Doctor, you take a look at the man is so good when it has to do with the doubles, triple doubles. What do you make of his prowess in that?
One thing that works for him is the fact that he's not as fast, as quick as people will see other basketball players, but he's slow, but he's very articulate, he's very calculative. So his slowness is because he is looking at the other players, thinking of what they want to do. In as much as you are very fast, you'll be also surprised that before you get to him, he already knows what to do. And secondly, his passing accuracy is something else. So you have to be, just like they say that somebody that doesn't talk too much, you have to always be very, very careful with them, because you don't know what is in his mind at every point in time. So he uses his brain very well. He's very articulate. That makes it easier for him to have all this. While others, because when you say the faster you get, before you know, you may not get it accurately. But the man that is not as fast, he's not even among, when you talk in terms of verticals, he's not even among the best. He doesn't jump all that, but his height and his weight also plays a very big role for him. Sometimes as you come, he will just use his shoulders and you are off.
Miracle, talking about his height, is it one of the factors to consider in terms of his progress in putting up the double duties?
No, I wouldn't say his height is one of the factors. I say that Luka Jovic is a very intelligent player. He's quite tactical when it comes to playing the basketball. You can see with the triple doubles, the kind of assists he makes, even the pointers he makes, also his rebounds. You can see that not just his height that gives him that advantage, but also he's very articulated. He thinks before he does something, and he's always focused on making his other teammates shine also. Some players are just only focused on making the points alone to get the whole glory. But look at Jokic. He's always focused on making his teammates, his all-rounders, also go into the game and perform also. That's why you can see that he always makes those triple doubles when it comes to playing basketball.
But I must ask this question, since you're talking about height, Dr. Lechi. Is height really important as for a basketball player?
Yes, of course. Height is very, very important. Now, first you check the height of is it the pool? What do they call it?
The basket?
The basket, right? The height of the basket. So if you are not tall, it becomes difficult for you to jump, except maybe you have exceptional skill.
But what if you have some level of accuracy?
That is what
some players that does the what's it called that throws from the arc.
Yeah, it's 3
It is not. It is not always. If you have the height, even when they throw, it's easier for you to block. I don't know if you understand me. So the height plays
when you're on the defensive
when you're on
side,
the defensive side. So it's even better for someone who has the height to be on the defensive side, because he will block every of the shot that is coming. But if you don't have, if the height is not there, anything they throw will enter. So you see that height plays a role in basketball. Without that's why majority of the basketball players, you see them measuring 6 feet and above.
So if you don't have a good height, you might not be a very good basketball player.
No,
is that true?
that's not totally correct. The height sometimes is an advantage.
Yeah.
The height is an advantage because so a player may not have the height, but technically, and he's very okay technically, intelligently. He's also very intelligent. That means he uses his intelligence and his technicality to measure up for the height that he doesn't have. But when you have the height, it's like you already have one part. All you now need is for you to just think. But when you don't have height, you have to think about how to measure up for the height and also think of how to play the game. So you are putting two things together. So the height is an advantage for someone playing basketball.
The body size as well, miracle. Because if you look at Jokic, he has a very big, big body size.
Jokic, he is what they call the big man in basketball. He's actually very tall as well, 6'11". Also, he has a very broad shoulders, which most of the basketball players lack. It's only the likes of Anthony Davis in Los Angeles Lakers.
What about LeBron James?
LeBron James also, but LeBron is not that broad, but he's quite broad. But if you look at the likes of Anthony Davis, LeBron's teammates, you see that he has very, very broad shoulders. Even the Nigerian Bam Adebayo, that is actually representing USA, that plays from the Miami Heat. If you look the kind of stature he has, you know that he has very broad shoulders. So Jokic has that advantage as well. He has very broad shoulders, but he's not as fast as a lot of basketballers are. He might not be as fast, but when it comes to bouncing the ball, that skill, that trickery, and passing of the ball, Jokic is up there when it comes to that.
Impressive one, of course, for the man Nikola Jokic, prolific basketball player. You will say one man, of course, who is at the helm of taking the Denver Nuggets, of course, to another level. Also, since he was a 41st overall selection, he became the lowest drafted player to have become an MVP. That's an impressive record, of course, for the man. At the time, he also named the Hero League MVP, making him one of the first NBA players in the history of the league to have done so. The other one is Baji Messi. Now, in 2021, He earned fourth quarter start of 5.5 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 1.3 assists in 61 games. In the All-Star game that year, he helped Team LeBron James win. Now, in early 2022, Jokic was averaging 25.3 points, 13.9 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per game. He also continues his massive efforts to help his team. In April 2022 match against the Golden State Warriors, for example, he scored 30 points, 19 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. He continued setting and breaking records this year as well, and that particular year, including having 7 or more triple doubles in a single month. This puts him on par with players like with Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. And in 2023, Jokic helped his team to win the NBA. Was also named an NBA All-Star for the 5th time that year, and of course was an impressive year for the Denver Nuggets. I think Jokic, of course, was actually at the helm of affairs for the Denver Nuggets, to win that particular championship in 2023.
Yes, definitely. We know that in the history of the Denver franchise, they've never won the NBA championship before in their entire history.
Yeah.
And it was Luka Jokic that everybody was rooting for to help that team win the NBA championship, which he did. Even the way they won the NBA championship, they did it in a magnificent manner. I think about
they had a very impressive
record
that
impressive
year.
run that year. Dominated their conference. Even when they went to the final, they also dominated the final. So very good one for Nikola Jokic over there, and he's been doing very well also this season in the NBA. They are still gunning for the NBA championship this season. They are doing well in their conference. So I see him doing great things in the future.
Great things, of course, for the man Nikola Jokic. Talking about being at the top of their conference, Doctor, we saw him, I think, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? He actually put up 41 points, to help the Denver Nuggets to get back to the top of their conference. I don't know what you make of it. You think he can actually sustain this momentum, because everyone is still waiting for the Denver Nuggets to defend the championship. Would that be possible? Because we have some teams also stepping up, their game. We know that Golden State Warriors, they've not been that fantastic, but we'll still look forward to see how it will go down for them. But the Denver Nuggets, what do you make of them with the help of Nikola Jokic last time?
Yeah, one thing you have to understand is to sustain success most time is very difficult. But for the Denver Nuggets, you should understand that since the arrival of Nikola Jokic, a lot has happened. The young man has been in 6 NBA All-Stars team. He has been in 3 NBA All-Star first team from 2019 till date. So there has been this consistency, and when a team measures some level of success, what they do is to sustain it, and they try to get players that will help them sustain it. If you have good players, just like when Maradona went to Napoli in 1986, he said, get me so player, get me so player. This is the only way we can win. And they are already measuring a lot of success within this short period. So they wouldn't want to just let it go like that. And it will take a team that will also be ready to spend more. So it has to do with spending now, and it also has to do with a lot of technicality. That's where the coaches come in. You can get a coach that is better than the coach of the Denver Nuggets, and he changed the tune of the game. But for now, I think the team is really doing well, and they are cruising. It will be very difficult for a team coming behind to overtake them.
But Miracle, I don't know what you make of that.
Yes, definitely. They've been doing quite well in their conference. They actually sit third over there in their conference, but the other 2 teams ahead of them, they are still on the same point with the Nuggets, so they have an advantage. They sit but they've won also 56 games also with the other 2 teams above them. So I see up their head, keep their head up and perform the way they did last season, they actually have an advantage of being in the NBA finals again this year, which you never can tell. If they are able to retain that standard, they might actually win the NBA championship back to back.
All right, to keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes, can Nikola Jokic help his team, the Denver Nuggets, of course, retain the NBA championship? We'll take a look at that in the coming days, but we'll take a short break now. When we'll come back from the break, we'll take a look at what he's been able to do for his national team, talking about Serbia. We'll be right back.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Not to counterpunch.
From the line across the land beyond the mountain, through the Sahara, we bring unspoken expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and trades. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
Yeah, welcome back. It's the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network, and of course, talking about Serbian basketball. Nikola Jokic, who plays for an NBA team, talking about the Denver Nugget, and he's been very, very fantastic, of course, down there for the Denver Nugget side. A lot, of course, was said, about the man Nikola Jokic. But let's take a look at what he's been able to do for his national team. Now, in addition to his time with the NBA and the Adriatic League, he has also represented Serbia in international competitions. In 2013, he was part of the Serbian team that won the silver medal championship. And in 2016, he was also on the Serbian team for the Rio Olympics. They won the silver medal for men's basketball. He was named the Serbia Player of the Year for 2018, 2021, and 2022. Miracle, what do you make of his progress in the Serbia national team?
Yeah, he's actually done quite well when it comes to representing his national team in basketball. His first medal or trophy for his national team came at the junior levels when he won the under-19 championship over there in Czech Republic, which he actually played quite very well. Although he was not that known at that point of his career, but he actually represented his country very well. Also, at the 2016 Rio Olympics over there in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, he picked up the silver medal for his country in basketball at that Olympics, which actually made the whole world to start looking at him and start putting interest on that particular player. It was at that Rio Olympics he actually bloomed. But at that point, he was already drafted in the NBA. He's played about a year in the NBA already, but he was not that known because they usually call him a steal in the NBA because he was given that name as one of the worst pick at that time. He was picked 41, but nevertheless started playing very, very well. Started representing both his country and his team very well. And right now, the NBA has ranked him as one of the best steals in the NBA history ever, making him one of the best steals, which actually means something. So for his country also, I think he actually won. He's picked up the best Serbian player for his country back to back to back. I think he won it first in 2019, and he has also won it back to back in 2021 and also 2022. So he's actually performed quite well for his country, Serbia, both in international tournaments and youth level tournaments over there.
Impressive one, of course, for Nikola Jokic. And talking about some of the accolade award he's gotten in 2023, he won the NBA championship with the Denver Nuggets, and still in 2023 as well, he won the NBA Finals Most Valuable Player in 2021 and 2022. He won NBA Most Valuable Player in 2019 and 2023. NBA All-Star Player as well. 2019, 2021, and 2022 NBA First Team Player, and in 2020, 2023 all NBA Second Team as well. He was in that one, and in 2023 he won the NBA Western Conference Finals Most Valuable Player. In 2016, NBA Rookie First Team, of course, he was there. And in 2018 and 2021 and 2022, he won the Serbian Player of the Year. In 2015, he won the NBA League Most Valuable Player. 2015 as well, he won the ABA League Top Prospect and medal records. Men's basketball representing Serbia. In 2016, he won silver. With, of course, his national team at the Olympics. That's the Games Rio de Janeiro. Of course, Miracle talked about that. And in 2013, he won silver with the Under-19 World Championship Czech Republic. Of course, impressive one, of course, you will see so far for Nikola Jokic, Doctor.
Yes, he has
impressive record.
A very impressive record. I think it has also played very well for him. If you check the national team, Serbia is not a basketball playing nation per se. If we are ranking basketball teams, but his presence has really brought a lot to the national team. I think he's a huge player. He's an influencer. He's a mentor, and a lot of Serbian are also looking up to him. If you check, we have other Serbian players now presently in the NBA. I think he has played a huge role, and kudos and accolades should be given to him. He has really done well for himself and
he's really done well
country.
for himself. All right, so let's take a look at apart from playing, winning and getting some top recognition, for yourself, you have to take a look at how the man, of course, has been able to manage his family, and his career as well. And we hear, of course, just like we mentioned earlier, he was born in Sambo, Serbia. His father's name is Branislav Jokic, and his mother's names is Namja and Strajan. His mother identity is unknown at the moment, but he married Nachida Mesek in October 24, 2020 in his hometown of Sombo, and that's Nikola Jokic's wife. Now, the American center for the Denver Nuggets married his longtime partner, Nachilija. She studied psychology at Minnesota Metropolitan State University and graduated from there. They both have been together since their childhood days in Serbia. Now, Jokic also loves to be in sports, and she played volleyball at a junior college in Oklahoma. The couple started dating in 2013 and got married in 2020, and together the couple has one daughter, Gina Jokic. Doctor, what do you make of his marital life and trying to balance, of course, his career and his family as well?
From facts about him said that he's from a humble beginning. That they were living, I think, in two-bedroom apartment with the brother, the brothers, the father, the mother, and even the grandparents. I think that plays a huge role, because when you know where you are coming from, sometimes it becomes difficult for you to fail. When you see that a lot of people are looking up to you, it becomes difficult for you to try to throw things around. I was reading from what the fans were saying about him. I said, is that not Nicola? He's trying to pick a diaper, he's trying to pick a pampers. I think the wife gave birth or something like that. And he's just humble. He doesn't know. The other man said he doesn't know what to do, just like me. Maybe this outrightly the first time he's doing this kind of thing. I think he's a good man that tried to manage his success, knowing where he's coming from.
But what do you make of his relationship with his partner? Talked about Nata Leja. Miracle.
She's been someone he knew from a very, very young age. I think that was his will I say, his high school love, as they might say. They've been together for quite a very, very long time. So I see that she's been one of the people also that have kept him, will I say, determined over the course of the years and focused on his goal, on achieving his goals, because they've known each other for quite a very, very long time also. So I feel like she played a big role in his success over the course of the years.
The man is also a big man, because when you take a look at his net worth, you see there's something huge, in his bank accounts. Jokic has amassed a net worth of $30 million over his years. Over the years he has played, of course, basketball. It should be more than this, but from what we were able to get so far is the fact that the man is up to, his net worth is up to $30 million. What do you make of his bank accounts, Doc?
Apart from winning awards and recognition, the game comes with money.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in the NBA.
And when
not forgetting endorsement deals as well.
Yes. When a player gets famous, the next thing that follows is the money. Then the third thing is how you manage the money. If you are not able to manage the money, sometimes you go bankrupt, and that is a very bad thing. But thank God for Nicola, who has a very good partner. At least they've been in a long relationship before they got married. It's not like other partners who their intent will be how to squander the money. And when you marry a partner that is her intent is after how the money is being spent, it becomes an issue. If you check, I think he has been living a very good and quiet life. If not for the recognitions, nobody would have even known that such a person exists. But because of his exploit in the game of basketball, you see that he's being recognized, he's this, he's that. People wouldn't have even looked at him.
But let's talk about Nigerian basketball players. We have some Nigerian basketball players, in the NBA. We have the likes of Chimeze Mitu, we have Bam Adebayo, and the rest of them. But we've not really, of recent, we've not really seen any of them, of course, single-handedly, of course, leading their team. Just like that. Apart from Bam Adebayo, who has, at some point, taken himself, up in the Miami Heat. I don't know what you make of it. Is it as a result of the fact that we don't have a very good, basketball system in the country? Because take a look at the life of Nikola Jokic. He started from the Serbian team, and then he was able to showcase himself, to the world before he was being drafted to the Denver Nuggets. What do you make of the Nigerian players, in the NBA?
Yeah, we have quite a lot of Nigerian players over there at the NBA. But let's say the major reason why we've not been, or they've not been carrying their team as the poster man in their team over the course of their career, let's say there are two factors that might be causing this. Number one, the Nigerian basketball team as a whole have not been doing quite well when it comes to international tournaments. It's only when it comes to the Afro baskets and the rest that we always want to show ourselves, and we always want to try to achieve. And and we've been having a lot of poor management system during throughout the course of some competitions.
Could that affect the individual
Yes,
performance
yes.
of the
We've
player?
seen some of our players come out to criticize the FIBA, what do they call it? Yeah, FIBA, right?
FIBA.
Oh, the NBBF.
Yeah, the
Nigerian
NBBF. Yeah,
Basketball
Nigerian Basketball Federation.
MPL.
Sorry, yeah.
MPL. It's called MPL now.
Yeah, they've come out to criticize our basketball federation for poor management system and for poor planning when it comes to going for tournaments, and it has also hindered them their performances. Like the last tournament they went for, they actually didn't plan well. And when you go to a tournament without planning, that means you plan to fail. So a player cannot be fully determined on achieving his goal when the system is not right. So I feel like the major reason why the likes of Nikola Jokic have been performing over good or performing in that kind of way at the NBA over there is because of the kind of system he's playing under. The Serbian Basketball Federation have been doing quite well over the years. Also, the NBA is no place for failure. The NBA is a place where everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
They have a lot of competition over there in the NBA. There's a certain Nigerian player that plays for Miami Heat. I'm forgetting his name right now. I'm forgetting his name, but he in 2021 he was quite a very, very good player for his team, if not the best player at that particular time, or most informed player for his team, until he went on an injury, and when he came back, he was not really himself. Ever since then, I've not really heard much about him. There's also another player in Boston Celtic that is doing quite really well for himself over there. I feel like if they can be able to adjust how we manage our system, like the Nigerian Basketball Federation can be able to manage our system well and encourage these players. I see them performing. Other than calling players in, we always want to call or we always want to pick out successful players, other than building our players from the scratch. Or any player we see performing well at the NBA, we want to drag him with the US or drag him with any other country he's willing to play straight at. I feel like if we are able to do the right thing, I see our players performing at the highest level.
All right, Doc, a quick one on this one. What should be the way forward?
I think it has to do with management. The Nigerian Basketball Federation, NBBF, need to put a lot into our league. The MPL, the Nigerian Basketball League. Before now, I used to watch the games. I think I used to have Royal Hoopers of Port Harcourt. They play at Port Harcourt Civic Center. I used to watch the games, and even teams from Africa. There was a time they organized African League in Port Harcourt. And the last,
you have to summarize it up. Our time is up.
The last, they did very well, but the management, if we can put our hearts together, the NBBF, they can put our hearts together, I think we'll get there.
Okay. All right, sir. That's much we can bring to you about Nikola Jokic, prolific basketball player from Serbia.